What is going on, everyone? It is MC Politics, and welcome guys back to a brand new video. But before we get started, make sure you leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new or if you enjoyed today's content. Hit the bell for notifications so you guys don't miss out on any future videos. And if you have questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below the video. And with that being said, let's get started with today's video. So today I kind of wanted to fill out a state Senate legislator map for the upper house chambers throughout each state that is up for election in 2025 and 2026. New Jersey is the only one with the state Senate up for re-election in 2025, and the rest of them are up in 2026. Kansas, New Mexico, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Virginia will not be having legislator elections for the Senate in 2025 or 2026, so we will not be filling out any of those because Kansas, New Mexico, and South Carolina, they do their state Senate elections in presidential elections. Mississippi and Louisiana and Virginia are not up until 2027, so we will not fill those out right now. We will fill those out when the time comes. So we have a lot to get to in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out some of the safe states that I just want to get out of the way that are not going to be competitive. There's only going to be a few state legislators that are up for re-election that are going to be competitive, so we're going to go ahead and fill them out here. Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Utah, South Dakota, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Iowa, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Florida. They should all be in the safe column. Nebraska only has a Senate legislator in the state. It only has one legislator. It does not have a House and a Senate like the other states do. So I classified it as a state Senate legislator on this map. So with that being said, Republicans are going to hold on to that by safe margin. Texas, they should hold on to by a comfortable margin as well. I don't see Democrats really winning any or many seats in the state Senate. North Carolina, Republicans have a big majority in the state legislature. They do not hold a supermajority anymore in North Carolina, I believe. So I do believe Republicans are going to hold on to that comfortably because they'll probably gain some seats around the northeastern portion of the state with minority or working class trends. And then Democrats might have a chance at some suburban districts, but overall, Republicans will hold the majority in the state legislature in that state. Georgia will as well, just because Republicans do have some potential to gain seats around southern Georgia in the state Senate legislature. Democrats only really have the Atlanta area, but they haven't really gained a whole lot of seats around the Atlanta area at this point in time, where Republicans have a lot more to gain throughout the state legislature in these states. So we're going to go ahead and keep that one as safe Republican because I do not see Democrats getting anywhere near competitive in their state legislature in Georgia. And we're going to go ahead and move into the Democratic legislators in the Senate. California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, Colorado, Illinois, New York. Even though they're probably going to have a close gubernatorial election, I still think Democrats are going to hold on to the state Senate by a comfortable margin. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey as well. Again, they'll have a close governorship, but they probably will not get close to making the legislature competitive for Democrats. Delaware, Maryland, and I believe that Democrats do have a sizable margin in Maine. We could go ahead and check that really quickly here. So Democrats hold, after the 2024 elections, they hold a 20 to 15 majority, so a 5-seat majority. They should be able to hold on to the legislator there in that state. I'll probably put it as likely like a 70 to 80% chance that they hold on to the legislator in that state. It widely depends down ballot or up ballot how the state does in the governorship, because the governorships usually are an indicator for the state Senate legislators. who's going to be at the top of the ticket, and are they going to energize down ballot candidates to do well? Jared Golden is someone to keep an eye out if he runs for governor. And let's say Maine's second House of Representatives could be competitive for some of these for Republicans up here to make some of these seats competitive if there are any left. I believe there's like a few here, but Democrats relatively should hold on unless Republicans can make some gains in the suburbs and around the Portland area. I think that Democrats are going to hold on to there pretty comfortably. Vermont, I know the Republicans got close to making it competitive enough to flip the state Senate in 2024. They were about like 3 seats away from winning it when the seats were all fully counted. I think that probably Democrats are going to hold on to the state Senate there, but it probably could be close just with Phil Scott at the top of the ballot. And Republicans also picked up the lieutenant governorship in the state, so that is something that is going to be interesting to see if Republicans hold on to that and what happens down ballot from there. Democrats should hold most of the offices there, but the state Senate is something to watch. I probably would say that there's around a 60% chance that Democrats do hold on to the state Senate there, unless I see something. We will update this map again around 2026, but I wanted to just give like a early look on it. And with that being said, New Hampshire, this is going to go along with the governorship here. You got Chris Sununu, who's potentially going to run for the U.S. Senate seat here. Probably going to win by like a likely to safe margin. Could win by double digits if he's having a good night. Kelly Ayotte's probably going to run for re-election and win pretty easily in the governorship. I think Republicans are going to hold on by like a 70 to 80% chance in the legislature. As long as Ayotte and Sununu are performing very good at the top of the ballot, Republicans should hold on to the state Senate in the state of New Hampshire. Something else I forgot to fill out here, Nevada is probably going to be safe for the Democrats here just because their legislator map that they drew back in 2021-2022 with redistricting, they packed a lot of Democrats into the Washoe and the Clark County, Las Vegas area. So I believe like the tipping point state in some of these seats is like D double digits or like upper single digits. So it's probably likely the Democrats are going to hold on to the state Senate in the state of Nevada just based off of the map alone. And because of the coalition in Alaska, and this is something I wanted to point out here, is that Alaska does this weird system where they have a coalition that they formed after the 2024 election. There are 5 Republicans that caucus with the coalition of 9 Democrats, whereas the minority caucus is made up of 6 Republicans. So technically, Democrats do hold the state Senate in Alaska, even though Republicans technically have control of the state. But based off of the coalitions, the Democrats do have control. So I'm going to say that right now, Democrats probably do hold on to their coalition in the Alaska State Senate in that state. We'll see what happens overall. If Merritt Patola ends up running for the governorship, if she has any down ballot effects for Democrats in the state, that's something to keep an eye out for. I don't think she'll have much down ballot effects if she runs for Senate or House. So if she runs for governor, that probably might solidify Democrats to holding both chambers in Alaska. So definitely something to keep an eye out there. Now we move into the 5 competitive state Senate legislators, and we're going to go ahead and start off with like the least competitive, which is Pennsylvania. Republicans have held the state legislature there since 1994. It's unlikely that Democrats, even with Josh Shapiro at the top of the ballot, and even though he has a decent approval rating in the state and he's probably going to win by a lot, he didn't even make the state Senate that competitive when he won the state by 14 against Doug Mastriano. I feel like that Republicans are probably going to hold on to the state Senate here. We probably could put this one as likely for the GOP. I really don't see a chance for Democrats to be able to get this as of right now. I'll change this if I see anything down the line, but for right now, Republicans should hold on to the state Senate there. The state House is going to be something more to watch for Republicans in Pennsylvania, so keep an eye out for that one. Moving over into Wisconsin, this one is probably going to be something to keep an eye out for because the Supreme Court, which is now controlled by Democrats after the Democrats won a Supreme Court seat back in 2023 that flipped control over for them in the state Supreme Court. They changed the state legislator maps to make it more Democratic friendly, which explains a number of Democratic flips throughout the state Senate legislator in Wisconsin. I believe they gained around like 3 or 4 seats at the end of the day. It says 4 on here. I don't know necessarily if and let's go ahead and take a look at 2022 as well, because I don't know if every seat is up for grabs. No, they're not. So there is a chance that Democrats probably could gain some seats throughout the state Senate. This one's going to be highly competitive to watch. The state House is probably going to remain Republican in Wisconsin, but the state Senate in Wisconsin is going to be something to keep an eye out for. I would say it probably is going to, for right now, tilt GOP, but I would not be surprised if Democrats did win the state legislature there. If Tony Evers runs for re-election again, they probably could. If there's a strong Democratic governor candidate at the top of the ballot, they might be able to help Democrats down ballot in the state Senate. But for right now, I do favor Republicans narrowly holding on to the state Senate, and that mainly goes by what Democrats are doing in the WOW areas, or if there's anything around the lower portion of the state, because throughout the rest of the state, Republicans are probably favored to hold these seats. I really don't see anything that Democrats really have a chance of really gaining. Yeah, I'd say right now it's probably likely that Republicans hold on just very narrowly, so we're going to keep that one there. For Minnesota, this one I'm going to say the opposite for. I think right now, like 2024, Donald Trump really did well throughout the state of Minnesota. We'll go ahead and pull this up here. I thought that Kamala Harris would flip some suburban counties around the Minneapolis region, but she didn't. I mean, she did pretty awful throughout the state. I mean, the whole state shifted right, even in some of the suburbs and the cities. She really didn't do that well here. Even with Tim Walz as her VP, she didn't do that well here. Like, there's like nowhere that Harris really did well, and besides like maybe some Iron Range counties. I think with Tim Walz, though, as the gubernatorial candidate at the top of the ticket, it probably could. It's probably going to be likely that Democrats should hold on to the state Senate in that state. Oh, yeah, it was up in 2022, my bad. So the Democrats did gain a 1-seat majority in the state, though, but as you can see, there's a lot that Democrats could probably gain in the suburban areas. There's also some in the Iron Range that could be competitive as well for Democrats. They could probably do well around some of the lower portion areas around here. Overall, the suburbs of Minneapolis are something to keep an eye on for Democrats to expand. I really don't see Republicans being able to win any of the state legislators at the moment in Minnesota unless the Democratic Party has a complete collapse in the state up ballot. So for that, I am going to say that Democrats do hold on to the state Senate in Minnesota. And now we're going to move over into Arizona, and then the last state we'll focus on is Michigan, and that will be today's video. So for Arizona, The Republicans retained control of the state Senate in the state of Arizona after they were expected to lose control, I believe. Oh, this is 2022. Yeah, they were expected to lose control of the state Senate, but with the performance that Donald Trump did at the top of the ballot with Hispanics, especially around the Maricopa area, Republicans were able to gain a seat there as a result, where Democrats were expected to gain seats and end up possibly flipping a chamber or two. But because of what Donald Trump did up ballot, Republicans were able to hold on to the state Senate. Now, Katie Hobbs' approval rating is going to be interesting for this election because she's only around a 30 to 40% approval rating as governor. And it's highly going to depend on who the candidate is for Republicans at the top of the ballot, as well as some of the other statewide elections down ballot as well. I don't believe there's any Senate elections. No, there's not. Not until 2028. So the governor race and down ballot and the statewide elections are heavily going to depend on this, although Republicans were able to hold on in 2022 despite that, with Democrats holding on to most of the offices statewide in the state. I think something to keep an eye out for is what's going to happen to some of these Maricopa counties around the Tucson area. You could see maybe a potential flip or two for Republicans depending on how competitive they are. I think overall, I probably would favor Republicans just based off of trends alone with Hispanics and the fact that down ballot Republicans tend to do better than they do up ballot in the state. I'm going to go ahead and say the Republicans do narrowly hold on to the state Senate. They're probably going to maybe they could gain a couple seats depending on what up ballot looks like, but I don't see Democrats being able to flip it, especially with what's going on in Arizona right now with the 2024 election that just happened where Trump won by 5 points. So I am going to put this one as leaning Republican. And with that being said, we are down to the last election, and this one's going to be anyone's game, to be honest with you. Democrats hold a one-seat majority in the state Senate in Michigan. Now, Whitmer has had a lot of down ballot effects that really played into Democrats' favor in many of the down ballot elections, like for Secretary of State, Attorney General, U.S. House of Representative seats, state legislator seats, some Supreme Court races. She really has a lot of down ballot effects for Democrats, whereas Jocelyn Benson is going to possibly be the nominee right now because that is an open governorship, and Whitmer is term limited and cannot run for re-election. I don't really see Benson having that much of... I don't really see her like having the same down ballot effects that Whitmer did as of right now, especially with the fact that you have Mike Duggan entering the race as well now, mixing things up ballot. There possibly could be a competitive U.S. Senate election as well. I think as of right now, we could go and take a look at the map just really quick of what happened in Michigan. So Democrats did gain about like a 2-seat majority. I said one, excuse me there for that, but they did hold gain about 4 seats and have a 2-seat majority after the 2022 elections. The Michigan State Senate elections are not up in presidential years, only midterm, so that is something to keep into consideration. So Democrats did not have to worry about holding the Senate in a Trump presidential election. But the midterm is basically up in the air at this point. Democrats are not very popular throughout the state of Michigan or nationally as a whole. Locally, though, they might have a chance to be able to hold on to a lot of races throughout the state of Michigan, just because the Republican Party is pretty incompetent still here themselves in the state of Michigan. This is tough. I honestly would say a toss-up just right now. I don't really know where to put this. I think it's heavily going to depend on some of the seats that are around in lower Michigan and around maybe like the Grand Rapids area. If Democrats could be able to gain here, or if they're going to fall short. What happens around the Saginaw area? What happens around here? It's widely going to depend. Right now, I'm going to say Democrats do hold on narrowly to the state Senate in the state of Michigan. This could change. It very well could. I could see Republicans picking up the state Senate in Michigan, which would be a flip for Republicans. But right now, I think Democrats might be able to hold on to like a 1 or 2 seat majority in the state Senate in Michigan. It's all going to depend on what happens about throughout the state. So that's the final map for the state legislators in the Senate. 25 for Republicans, 19 for Democrats. I do not think that there are any flips as of right now on my map, but this could very well change in the future. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Drop a like if you liked today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, or if you enjoyed today's content, questions, comments, thoughts, or concerns can go in the comment section below the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.